knowing when it's time to make a change can be really, really hard. Sometimes it's really obvious that it's time to find a new job. Other times it may not be so clear. If that's you, keep watching. I'll tell you the signs you need to look out for when thinking about leaving your job. Hello friend, I'm AshleyStahl, career expert, host of the U-Turn podcast, and author of the best-selling book, also named U-Turn. My mission in the world is to help you create a career that really lights you up, and I truly believe that in order to be really fulfilled, you need to be willing to treat your career as if it's an experiment. In a way, what we're doing in society is the equivalent of saying, the first person you have a crush on, marry them. That's the kind of pressure and narrowness we're experiencing in today's world when it comes to your career. But who you are moves. Who you are changes. We are living, breathing organisms. And part of that means accepting that the process of self-discovery is just that. It's a process. My entire book, and sometimes it feels like my entire business, is devoted to helping with the career pivoting situation because I truly believe that fulfillment is a process. As Henry David Thoreau once said, most men, and I would add women, live lives of silent desperation. When people tell me they're feeling fine, I often think they're just not in touch with their own pain. Who wants to be just living a life that feels fine? Like womp womp. People aren't just hunting for a new job because they're looking to advance their career. A lot of the time, they're not just job hunting. As I've said before, they're clarity hunting. They're looking for that next job in hopes that it scratches that itch, one that can fill their real need for fulfillment. And maybe they don't know what that thing is that was missing, but they're determined to figure it out. Number one, there's no sign of advancement. According to a Gallup study, millennials value personal and professional development more than any other generation. And yet, a majority of them aren't getting the opportunity to learn or grow at work. If your management has been gridlocked in their position above you for years with no end in sight, or it seems like everyone is getting promoted over you, it's probably time to find a new job. Nothing's worse than feeling like you have to wait for your manager to literally keel over in order for you to get ahead. That's not how you want your career to be. Number two, the company is violating your core values. I talk a lot in my book, U-Turn, about how there are two core dynamics in any career: the what and the how. The what is about what job you're doing, what skills you're using, and the tasks at hand. The how is about the context of your job, how it looks, be it the culture, the hours, or just the general setting you're in. A lot of that has to do with your core values. If you value integrity, for example, and you're in a job selling something you don't believe in, you better believe you'll be viscerally unhappy because that job is asking you to sidestep a core value, something so deeply important inside of you. In fact, I have a free guide to discover your core values on my website at AshleyStahl.com. Number three, you're not working in your zone of genius. Okay, so we've talked about how a company can violate the how of who you are, your core values, but it's also important to consider the importance of the what. And as I mentioned, that's all about your core skill set and how you're using your energy at work. So if you're not using or sharpening or growing your core skill set the majority of the time in your job, it might just be time to go. In chapter 2 of my book, U-Turn, I talk about the 10 core skill sets that I believe exist in the workforce, and I also have a free U-Turn guide on my website at AshleyStahl.com that outlines these core skill sets. You can use that to explore which one you are. And if you're not honoring your best skill set, you're bound to get really tired, because when you're not being you, it's tiring. In a way, I think a lot of people who are low on energy are actually just low on purpose. Number 4, you're constantly stressed and you're constantly unhappy. It's pretty human to try and rationalize or understand why something's not working for you, when in actuality, sometimes something's just not working and that's it. You feel off, you feel stressed, you feel unhappy. Maybe it's a compilation of different things, like romantic relationships can even be. Maybe you can't put your finger on it, but one thing is for sure: you've got to trust yourself. If you haven't been happy for a while and you struggle to make sense of why, maybe it's time to make it okay that you don't need to know why things aren't working. If this sounds like you, it might not just be your happiness on the line. According to recent studies, hating your job has major negative health consequences. People who are unhappy every day at work are more likely to have a compromised immune system, which in the era of a pandemic is never worth the risk. Daily work stress or unhappiness also causes mental health issues. Studies prove time and time again that stress at work causes depression, anxiety, you name it. One study even suggests that being unemployed is better for your mental health than keeping a job that makes you unhappy. Look, you spend 90,000 hours of your life at work. That's 2/3 of your waking time on this planet. You deserve to feel good about it. Do you know someone who's in a career pivot? Send them this video. Let me know how I'm doing in the comments. And in the meantime, I'll see you next week.